this progress that we have for so few raids right now is it's absolutely insane. We have 10 raids with not, a great survival rate of 60%. We are level 18. We're sitting at 4.2 million rubles with a stash just full of stuff, more to break down. And we have a very well progressed hideout for having literally 1-2 traders up to level 2. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer Guys. Thanks for tuning back in. And today I have to just jump in and talk about the craziest start to a wipe I have ever had. And it has nothing to do with survival rate. It has nothing to do with finding crazy items, although we did have that over on our hardcore series. Please go check that out. The first episode of it was absolutely nuts if you're a fan of hardcore. All that being said, the new way to start the wipe is not by playing Escape from Tarkov. It's by jumping into Escape from Tarkov Arena. I'm going to showcase here really quick some stats. I'm just going to blow your mind really fast, and then I'm going to talk about how we got to this point, the time that we've been putting in, how to basically go through all of the steps, what you need to do to have some good progression, and some additional things we'll jump into to talk about. So first things first here, I want to get this out of the way. We did Twitch drops. That certainly has helped us. We didn't get anything super fantastic. What I want to showcase here is all of this equipment that we've been able to pick up. We've got all of these boxes that we're ready to open as soon as we get to Workbench level 2, which is just requiring us to go and get Mechanic to level 2. We have some Liga medals here to turn in. We have a really well-situated stash. We have quite a few items. We ran some raids. We've had a little bit of success. We've gotten some early tasking done. Right now, I'm sitting at 4.2 million rubles. Now, I will tell you, that's not like a crazy amount of money. That's not insane by any means. What is insane is that we are level 18 and we've run 10 raids and have 4.2 million rubles. Now, that still might not seem like a lot. You could be saying, well, Doc, you've run a lot of your scavs. I've run 2 scavs. I've run 2 scavs just to run some scavs because I wanted to see how the timers were to get started. Everything else here has been on our PMC. We're 8-4, 50% survival rate, decent little KD. We've got some kills. Level 18 purely comes from Arena. We have simply been playing and leveling up in Arena. Our Arena character is higher than our main character here in Escape from Tarkov. Our skills, some of the tough skills, endurance, we've been running a lot. This transfers over. These skills transfer over. If your Arena character is higher level than your Escape from Tarkov account character, and this is why this, in my opinion, is the best way to start, is these things are all going to transfer over. Your level's going to transfer over, your experience is going to transfer over. To say that I have vitality level 5 at level 18 is mind-numbingly amazing. This is usually, if you're familiar, this is one of the hardest skills, without cheesing it, of course, to level up. And all we have had to do is play a little bit of Arena to get to this point. Endurance, strength, health at level 5, pretty cool. Stress resistance up. We're seeing some different weapons, submachine guns, shotguns, assault rifles is already at level 4. These things that you would expect to see in Arena leveling up are certainly having their impact, and that has been just absolutely amazing. Now, there's still some work to be done. We don't have a good strength level, so we definitely want to work on that. We're going to see some gains from jumping into some regular Tarkov raids, but to be sitting at level 18 with 8 PMC raids under our belt, have a good stack of gear, 4.2 million rubles, and I didn't even showcase what I considered to be the best part. 4.2 million rubles is not all we've had. We have essentially, since we're above level 15, we have taken all of the money, and I would say I've probably done a little over 10 million rubles so far. We've been able to upgrade our hideout. We currently are breaking down the defective wall to be able to get into this and get our gym going. We've been able to get all of this stuff up to level 1. We've got things going up to level 2 at this point, and we are level 18. That is just mind-numbingly fantastic progress for having only run 8 raids. And I would tell you that the time sink of Arena versus, at this point, versus the time we would have taken to get through Escape from Tarkov to this point, there's no comparison. Now, Will I continue this? To a certain extent, yes. There's some parts about Arena that I really like, and I'm actually having a lot of fun playing that. I would love to continue to transfer money because it is way easier. Not way easier. It's very easy to make money in Arena. It's still pretty easy to make money in Escape from Tarkov, but the time investment for one to the other, Arena is taking the cake for me, hands down. So I'm going to jump over there. Let's talk about how you get this system done. We'll jump back, showcase a few other things. Let's hop over and show you how we do it. All right, let's start off by describing how exactly this whole thing works. If you're not familiar here, Arena and EFT, your main account on EFT here, have been linked, and the progression that you get is going to essentially spill over. You have to do a few things in order to do that. So the first thing you have to do is obviously log in to the Battlestate Games launcher. Obviously, you have Escape from Tarkov here. You have Arena. We'll queue this in, and we'll get in the game. All right, once you're in here, if you're not familiar with Arena, you have some things that you can do. I'm going to go off the basis that you are a little bit familiar. But with this most recent wipe and this most recent patch to both EFT and Arena, there's a bunch of new things for Arena. Honestly, Arena has felt the best it's felt since its release. There are certainly still some issues. There's certainly still some things to be worked on. But the preset system and the entire kit system has been reworked. Presets are now a thing, which is really cool. And then, of course, we have traders and the opportunity to get some additional currency in-game. This is really where this strategy works extremely efficiently. Let's talk about how you get this type of progress here in from Arena to your main account. The biggest thing that you're probably concerned about, or at least I think the biggest thing that makes a huge difference, is the ability to utilize Ref and his services to transfer money and GP coins. Now, Ref level 1 in Escape from Tarkov isn't great, but early on, the ability to barter GP coins for some weapons and some of the most usable barter items, such as light bulbs, I think wires, there's a handful of other things that are exceptionally good early on for early hideout progression, where you essentially don't even have to spend any money. You can spend these GP currency coins, which really aren't good for anything else besides utilizing them for ref. In addition to that, you can send over rubles. And that is how we have been able to make such a massive amount of progress early on with very few wipes and unlock a whole lot of things, and especially get our hideout upgraded. So as you can tell here, I can send over 100,000 rubles. I can send over GP coins. There is a fee associated with this. This is an instant transfer to Escape from Tarkov. So we could hit, we'll actually showcase this. I'll pop up some rubles and some GP coins. I'm going to do 500K and 20 GPs. I'm going to pay $80,000 here, 80,000 rubles to send this over. I'm going to click transfer and send that over. You can do this every 24 hours. You could send up to 1.5 million rubles. I don't know if there's a cap on GP coins. There probably is. I've never hit it, but typically I'll send over about 40 or 60, anywhere in between that, to get some things rolling. That gives a great opportunity to send some stuff over and get some opportunities with ref. In addition to that, you can level up ref over here on Arena. So we've been able to get some level. This is your level for your Arena account, and you can get some rep by completing his tasks. I have a handful here that just got restarted for logging in today, so I'm going to be knocking these out. These are a great way to pick up some extra rubles, more so probably some extra GP coins, but can also be some really good ref progress that transfers over. So that is really nice. We actually have level 2 ref unlocked on Escape from Tarkov, which is awesome. Last Hero, Blast Gang, and Team Fight. You can do all of these in unranked mode, which is really, really nice. We do typically jump into some ranked. I want to talk about the modes here in just a minute, but this is fantastic. Liga medals, if you're not familiar, are also one of the currencies that ref works in, and these trade for the keys. You've probably seen up on our channel this last wipe, we went ahead and did this. We're doing this wipe as well. We're getting his keys essentially, which open up his arena rooms, which are filled with high quality gear, high quality ballistic plates, and then typically good headsets and modified weapons. So I'm excited to run these. We'll have a future video coming out where we jump into these, but last wipe these were busted, but it wasn't so bad because we were decently into wipe when we were unlocking these rooms. Now is a little bit of a different story where we're very early in the wipe and you can get some pretty close to meta weapons. And again, class 5, class 6 tiers of armor and plates, which can certainly be a difference maker, especially with how things have changed with pen and armor and those kinds of things. So great way to earn some money and jump into that. Let me talk about some of the things and the locations or the modes specifically that I will jump into that I have found the most success. I found the most success with essentially doing two things: jumping into unranked and playing Last Hero. Last Hero, if you're not familiar, is a basically one versus everybody, last man standing TDM, not TDM, just deathmatch, and it is a blast. The cool part about this is dependent on the location that you pick. So as you click over here, and this is only an unranked game mode, you can pick between all of these locations if you like, and you can see from each of them that they have a different amount of people that can spawn into them based on the location. Chop Shop seems to be one that fires the fastest. It's only 6 total people. The rest of them, I think, are typically 8. Equator, or typically 10. Equator is 8. And then you have some variants here dependent on the size of the map. The reason that I like this game mode so much is because it's just you versus everybody else. You get to really have some fun with some different weapons. You can utilize your presets. You get a ton of tasks from Ref for this game mode. This is a great way to jump in. If you're going to play some Arena or some Escape from Tarkov, I have been jumping in here, running a match or two to finish up a couple of tasks with Ref that I have for the day, and then really get warmed up with all of Escape from Tarkov's mechanics. I feel like this has made my accuracy and my aim with weapons a lot better. I honestly can say that. I just am having a little bit more success. I'm a little bit more confident in PvP as well, and this is just what you would expect from a deathmatch. You get in, you get killed, you can respawn right away. It's very quick. There are the typical deathmatch issues with this game mode as well. Sometimes you spawn and you are basically being looked at by an enemy, and there's some things like that. You'll get used to a lot of the spawns and those kind of quirks, but overall, it's pretty fast-paced. It's pretty fun. The fact that you can spawn in so quickly, they did this part right. There are no concerns from that point. You can see that you get a quick chance. I'll probably throw up some matches of this at some point for you to see, but you can throw up, you can see when you die, you get to see the leaderboard, you get to see kills, who's in lead, all that good stuff. The reason I suggest Last Hero mode so specifically first is because it is the best way to make money. This is one of the few modes that even if you lose, you actually still gain money. So even if you don't place in the top 3, for the time that you spent, and matches don't take too long, handful of minutes. If you're on Chop Shop, they typically take a little bit longer, but there is a timer, so on and so forth. Most kills wins. Most kills with least deaths wins. Matches take a handful of minutes, but you're always going to get money. I think I have typically placed, I actually feel like I'm pretty good, but I play a lot of Chop Shop, so I'm usually in top 2 or 3. I'm getting a couple 100,000 rubles for those placements. Even when I've placed 4th or lower, I've still picked up 2 to 250K. It is partially based on performance, so that is important to note. But if you get in here, the time is going to be worth the money that you will make, and it is a great way to pick up some easy cash here that you can then transfer over to your Escape from Tarkov account. Other than that, I do recommend jumping into some ranked, playing some Blast Gang and some Team Fight, whatever one you enjoy the most. Blast Gang is 5v5 search and destroy game mode, which is pretty fun. You switch sides. It's actually pretty well designed. The maps are pretty fun for the most part from what I've run into. Every map is a little bit different from its Team Fight setup just because there's different barriers, there are different lanes. So I've actually enjoyed that quite a bit. And then Team Fight is just the classic 5v5 team deathmatch, essentially playing to rounds. Now, running ranked does come with its own set of risks. If you don't win here in ranked, you will not make any rubles, at least in my experience. Sometimes you will lose rubles, actually. So I am not very far up here on total ARP, so do keep that in mind. That may change as you rank up or get up into the higher tiers. I'm not queuing in with a lot of folks that I know. Sometimes just a buddy and I are doing that. If you're playing with a full team and you can have some more success, you might see that you can have the ability to grind that. When you do win, though, the reward for cash is pretty good. It's a couple 100,000 rubles, and that helps you. The reason that all of this is important to Arena is because you now have a new preset system. You're going to be able to get started with one preset for each of these different classes. You can see that we can build them here for Marksman and for Scout. I have leveled up and been able to unlock the second preset per level. This is cool because this is the preset. These top presets in the ranked game modes are what everybody's going to have to pick from, or they're customs. Now, the cool part is when you jump in for team fight or for blasting, you can only select two of of each of these assault, enforcer, scout, and marksman modes. So if you're going to go get set up, if you haven't played a ton of Arena this wipe, I recommend jumping in, make some presets that you're comfortable with for each of these different classes. That way you can jump in and you can use a class that you'll enjoy. These preset classes up here are not terrible. They're not great either, though. The preset system that you have access to is a ton of fun. You get to come in here, you get to build basically all of the weapons. You have some opportunities to unlock things with both GP coins or with rubles. So it is important to keep a little bit of money in your Arena account to be able to do that. There is some other stuff that unlocks a little bit later as you level up either weapons or level up your level here in Arena for your character. You do get access to some additional things. Each specific type of class also has a limiting factor. So they've added things that you can use and subtracted things that you can't. So for instance here, I forget what class we picked. So in the Scout class, you're seeing that we have the opportunity to use this set of weapons here. Only one sniper rifle variant, a couple of the SMGs, no shotguns. Obviously pistols and knives has been pretty open and available from what I have seen. But if we were to jump into, for instance, marksman, you're going to see that there's a different set of weapons available. That part actually makes it really cool. So there's not an influx. Not every single person is using an M4 perfectly modded in every fight. You will still run into a handful of those. But the fact that they have set up this class system and changed these presets around to allow you to build your own, and also limited what is within the preset, has made this really nice. It's made it to feel a lot more balanced, especially in the ranked game mode. So I can't highlight that enough. That's one of the major changes that they did here in Arena that has been a ton of fun. So as you can see here, this is a little bit different. You didn't see the TX-15 in that other setup. We're seeing a ton more sniper rifles, as you would expect from a scout class. And again, you have those options. You're going to be able to see armors, different types of rigs as well. This is pretty open for the most part. The cool part is this runs on a system down here, which is essentially MP. You have to sit in, and this is going to be based on where you are ARP-wise for your ranked game mode. But you have to set in between these two bars of Metascore, and you're going to see it gives you some guiding options of how you can set these up. So keep that in mind, but you have, in my experience, a pretty good opportunity to use mostly everything you want. It's really going to come down, in my experience, to the type of ammo you are using, in addition to the type of weapon modification that you have going on. So if we were to throw the ADAR on this, for instance, you're going to see that on this class, we actually have upper tier ammos that we have access to, because these are all going to be basically single shot weapons for the most part, right? Actually, I don't think there's any non-single shot weapons in this category. So we have access to better ammos. If we were to jump over to the other class and put a M4 on, for instance, until we level up, until we unlock some things, we're not going to have all these tiers of ammo. Typically, I am seeing 855 as being kind of the norm. There's a couple of other ammos that are accessible. So this is a super fun system. I actually really do enjoy it. It has made this Arena and Arena in general feel a lot more accessible, give you the opportunity to have a little bit more customization, and also just feel better jumping into matches where you're not totally outgunned. So that's been really good. So that is how you are able to essentially get into Arena, some of the major changes, and how you're able to essentially make the rubles. Let's jump over into Escape from Tarkov, and we'll show you what we've been able to collect, and just again, how absolutely insane this has been to get started for the wipe. Okay, so we're hopping back in here. We have finished up. Hopefully that was a good look for Arena. all of the things that you needed to do in order to get to this point where you can transfer that. Keep in mind, you can do those 1.5 million rubles a day. You can transfer those GP coins. You can transfer these cases. We didn't have any available, but I showcased these. These have weapons, you have equipment, you have supplies. I look forward to popping these open and actually getting some extra progress with this stuff. These should be able to be unlocked at workbench level 2. Certainly it will take some time, take some tools, but I'll be happy to grab some stuff out of this. So I'm really excited to do that. Let's showcase how you grab your stuff. Essentially, ref will pop up just like you would get any of your gear back or any of your insurances. You can go in and you can grab it. So you saw we did 500K. You actually get the full amount. You pay with the fee through your arena funds. You get the full amount here. 500K, we got 20 GP coins. I actually should have accepted those. That's my bad. Receive all. We'll throw these in here. I do have a few packages still waiting for us to grab, so that is something that just space dependent. We are holding on to these. I don't see a transfer window timer on these. Actually, we do 88 days, so plenty of time to get this stuff. So that part is also really, really cool. Be able to jump in here. So I'm not stressed to be able to do that. We actually probably could have kept all of this stuff in here and kept our stash pretty well opened up. I just want to continue to highlight, I think this is great. Is this absolutely what you must do? No. If you don't enjoy playing arena, by no means don't feel like you have to do this. But if the early wipe is a little bit of a grind for you, or you want to just enjoy being able to play both games at once, that's essentially what I'm doing, and I'm having a lot of fun being able to do that. It takes a lot of the stress off, I think, of early wipe, especially for the fact now the tasks that we have to do, we have a lot of the basic tasks. We certainly have some marathon stuff that I want to go do, but like we are still early on sanitary standards, Operation Aquarius. I mean, we're still trying to do search mission, so like we still have, I honestly need to go do this before I get any more progress. I need to go to ground zero and I need to finish this task, or else we're going to just have these get complete. I haven't even done supplier yet for Mr. Skier here. So the fact that we're level 18, we have access to the flea market. It feels unfair. To a certain extent, it feels unfair that we have been able to get this kind of progress. Now, we are missing out on trader rep and getting things done with the traders. But one of the big things that's usually a limiting factor here is level. So mechanic, for instance, we need to get him up to level 2 so that we can get the workbench level up to level 2. We can grind a few more levels here in arena, and we're going to be at the level cap that we need to do, and then we just need to spend some funds, and we got plenty of money to do that. So I have really enjoyed this. I think it's really cool. It has definitely changed the dynamic around what we're seeing for how you can start wipes. If you put a little bit of time into arena and you're jumping back and forth, I think the money worries or any money troubles that you might have early on, you're going to be able to move past very quickly. You're going to get some really good skills. Like these skills, I cannot highlight enough. The skills that we have leveled up here, this is going to be such a huge boost once we start being a little bit more proactive and focusing a little bit more on Escape from Tarkov here for just having things to be able to be done. We can level up our sniper skill in arena if we want to, with maybe a little bit less, being unhappy about it. Like I will happily take a Mosin into some last hero matches, pop some people in the face with those, work on my aim and those things, and work towards getting this leveled up. I look forward to doing that, testing that out, and I think that's going to be a really, really good way to go about doing that. So I hope this video was helpful, was interesting for you. If you haven't been jumping in, I'm certainly not trying to tell anybody to go buy Arena, but if you have access to Arena and you haven't jumped in to play it since it first came out and all of that stuff, I think now is a fantastic way to jump in. If you've been holding off on starting your Escape from Tarkov journey this wipe and are looking for a nice little boost, consider jumping in, transfer some money over, get some GP coins, which you can get from ref. I think is really good, especially if you can get leveled up. Even level 1, you got access to some pretty cool guns here. MPX early, you get plenty of 9x19 SKS, that's nicely modded. 65 GP coins gets you a key tool. I grabbed this immediately. This is the first thing that I bought. You have access to some decent armor. This is class 3 armor and a helmet. So you get one of the crazy hideout keys here. Shatun's hideout key at level 1. You get an additional one at level 2 at Grumpy's. So there's some really, really good options. Again, some good barter items, light bulbs, bolts, insulating tape, things that are very useful even at level 1. Then again, if you're able to get leveled up to level 2, some additional cases. I'll be saving up some GP coins, grabbing a meds case, grabbing a grenades case. Just a really fun way to do that. Some decent ammos. Okay, not great ammos, but ammos nonetheless. You know, some cool weapons with some decent mods on it here. You can get a nice M3 Super 90 with the new sight on it. Little SR25 with a Tri-Hawk. There's some pretty cool stuff to be able to pick up. M2 plate carry here early on at level 18 and up. I would run this, and this would be good armor for a good portion of the wipe, to be honest with you. You got some electric drills. It's a really, really fantastic way to get started in the wipe. And like I said, recommend jump over, check Arena out, transfer some money over. I think you'll see that you'll be pretty happy with that. And like I said, Last Hero has been a ton of fun. The other game modes are cool, especially if you have some buds to play with. Again, a pretty good way to grind up some levels, grind up some money, and start Escape from Tarkov on a pretty easy foot early wipe here. So hopefully you enjoyed them. And flash some socials, do the YouTube thing. We have an Escape series, which is our solo standard account. We started that up. We have a little challenge for that going. We're going pistol only to level 15. No arena on that account. So we're jumping in, having some fun. A couple of cool episodes so far. We have a playlist for that. In addition, we also have a hardcore account. I mentioned at the start, we had an absolutely amazing start. We've got some really good progress with that going. We have a playlist for that as well. Season 8 of Hardcore, Season 7 of our Escape series. So be sure to check those out. Stick around for more Escape from Tarkov content. One thing I will be jumping into here in the very near term is hitting these rooms again. They were really, really good. Everything I've seen is to say that both of the ref rooms that we have access to are also going to be really good this wipe. So be sure to check back in on that when we run those rooms and we figure out how good a gear can we get to really start this wipe off the right way. Thanks again, as always. Subscribe, likes and comments. Really appreciate it. Click on another video. Thanks for the support. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.